Shirley Boy Entertainment presents, in association with the Adam Talks podcast. This is a Heroverse production and an Adam Shirley audio drama based on original characters and locations created by Adam Shirley and Glenn Lewis. Detective, Case 1. 7 years now. That's how long I've been in this fight. There are others now, others like me. But that wasn't always the case. Back when I started, there weren't vigilantes or heroes. Everyone then was too afraid to fight back and do what was right. Let me take you back to when it all started for me. June 18th, 2018. Rivercrest, a corrupt city, a broken city. The streets are lined with the homeless, the battered and beaten. Drugs fill the streets and the masses swarm to them like cockroaches to a plate of food left out overnight. There are also others whose minds have been broken. They act without thinking, they act without compassion, and without empathy. I was a cop here for 5 years. I did the bidding of the law in a broken system, and in that system, there were very few people you could trust. My wife was murdered, stabbed to death in our own home. I found her bloody body as she was gasping for air in our living room. I called it in, and when I wanted to work the case to pursue the killer, I was denied. I was told by my CO that I needed to take a mental evaluation, and that I wasn't able to work until I was found fit to return to active duty. That was 9 months ago, and in that time there have been 5 murders. 5 murders that are eerily similar to hers. There have been no new leads. Hell, it seems like no one is even trying to find her killer. Well, if they won't, then I will. For the past 9 months, I've been investigating these murders, comparing them to one another, comparing them to hers. I believe the person they're calling the Punchline killer in the tabloids is responsible for my wife's death. He gets his name from leaving horrific jokes at the scene of each crime. He also mutilates and disfigures his victims as the punchline of the joke that he leaves. When I arrived home that night, there was a ghoulish joke written on the wall in my wife's blood. The words, "Turn that frown upside down." I shudder every time I think about it, because I had to see her beautiful face in pain as blood seeped out of the Glasgow smile that he had carved into it. I couldn't save her. I couldn't save the other 5 victims, but I'll be damned if I don't try to save anyone else and stop this Punchline killer from harming anyone again. Tonight, much like every night, I drive through the streets of Rivercrest, searching, looking for anything that could lead me to him. But tonight would be different. Down a dirty, trash-ridden alley that I've driven by hundreds of times, there was a small group of 5 to 10 people gathered, looking at something on the ground. So I pulled into a parking lot. I parked my car. I then took my helmet, gloves, and trench coat off, and grabbed my badge, my gun, and officer's jacket, and began walking down the alley. As I reached the end of this alley, my blood ran cold, and I saw what they were gawking at, all of them wide-eyed in horror, as I stared at a 6th body. It was a young man who couldn't have been older than 16. He had a large stab wound in the center of his chest. He was missing 1 ear and 3 fingers from both hands, all of which were laying around him. And his face was twisted into a pure look of pain and terror. I take my badge out and show it to the group. I tell them this is police business and they need to disperse. And they do. As they do, I start my initial inspection. I remove a pair of latex gloves from the pocket of my police jacket and put them on. He was placed in a sitting position up against the wall. By the drag marks on the ground, I could tell he was moved there. And in his hand, he clutched a piece of paper. I removed the paper from his hand, and on it was written, "Life is hard, but don't fall to pieces." I then took pictures, noting everything that I found: the ear, the 3 fingers from each hand, the stab wound, and the note. And then I made a call anonymously to the police to report the crime. I then left promptly.
Today was great. It went exactly how I hoped it would. I got to tell a couple jokes, meet some new people. All in all, I'd say it was a great day. The thing about the day was that I feel like I'm starting to finally find myself, well, my true purpose in the world. I love comedy, but this is a whole new level. I'm able to tell these killer jokes, pun intended. And really, everyone, living and dead, they all can really get a kick out of it. I mean, they can really feel it in their bones. But there was something different today than the other time. There was a man, detective. He was snooping around, taking pictures and notes. I was there. I saw him. He told us all to leave, that it was police business. I feel as if our destinies are, intertwined. Both of us opposing each other. Well, wherever he is right now at this moment, I do honestly hope he found what he was looking for. And I hope that he has a good evening.
I arrive at my home. The home once full of joy and life, now dark, colorless, and empty. I sit on my couch with files, pictures, and evidence from the past murders, including my wife's, sprawled across the coffee table, with my laptop on the couch beside me. I'm searching for answers, anything that can help me stop this killer. The way the crimes were committed linked them all together, the jokes left at the scenes. But there has to be something more. Each crime had a joke handwritten in one way or another, and the victim was the punchline of the joke. All of the handwriting matches, meaning this is one person doing this. There's no precision in the cuts, and the stabs. It's just like wild punishment, like he did this all on a whim. Then an idea hits me. I got security footage from the businesses all around where this happened. Maybe I'll find something in there. So I open my laptop and pull up the security footage that I had gathered from the buildings in the area. Anything that might give me an opening to see what might have happened down that alley. All right, let's go back earlier today. Let's see. We'll start looking around 6 hours ago. I start scanning through the video. Nothing interesting at first. I sit and I watch for a little while before speeding the video up. As I sit and watch, the hours go by in minutes. Everything is normal, nothing unusual, until I see it. The moment it happens. In all of its gruesomeness. We see the young man begging for his life as the killer puts his hands over the young man's mouth and stabs him in the chest. I see the struggle and the fight leave the young man's body, and his face left him that look. Terror. I see him do what he does. The fingers, the ear. And then I see him pull a note from his pocket and place it into the young man's hand and walk away, almost skipping, almost joyfully, as he leaves around the corner. But then I notice something else. His clothing. He had on a set of green scrubs with a doctor's jacket. Wait. Go back. There it is. He's wearing doctor's clothes, scrubs, and a white doctor's coat. And it looks like there's a name tag on the jacket. Let me see if I can zoom in so I can see it just a little bit clearer, maybe. Rivercrest Mental Health Facility. And it looked like it says Dr. Chapel is the name on the name tag. Let's look into him. I pull up a separate tab on the laptop and look into Dr. Chapel. His name is David Ostyn Chapel. He's the head psychiatrist at the facility. Looks like I'm going to be paying him a visit. I arrive in my police uniform. I walk to the front desk and ask to speak to Dr. Chapel. I then show them my badge. I get escorted to his office. As I enter, I see the small, middle-aged, bald man sitting behind his desk. He has thick black-rimmed glasses on and is going through some files that he quickly puts away upon my entering the office. Hello, Dr. Chapel. My name's James McCarthy. I'm a detective for Rivercrest PD, and I'd like to talk to you about some things.
Sure thing, Mr. McCarthy. But if I may ask, why me? I mean, what brings you here to speak with me today?
I'm here to ask if you are aware that there's someone in this city wearing your doctor's coat and name tag, and this person is killing people.
What?
I pull out a photo of a screenshot that I grabbed from the security video and present it to him. I just need to know of any recent releases or possible patients who might have escaped or are missing within the past year to narrow our search down.
Well, as far as releases go, any patient who is released from our care here at the Rivercrest Mental Health Facility must undergo an extensive evaluation to ensure not only the safety of others outside of the facility, but the patient's safety themselves. Once they pass all of our parameters, they are free to go back to the population and start a new chapter in their life. As far as the patients who have escaped or who are missing, there has only been one. And by the looks in this picture, it is him. His name is Craig Jones. And he went missing 11 months ago. 1 second.
He turns around and opens the file cabinet. He reaches into the bottom shelf and then pulls out a file and turns back to me.
Well, this is his file, everything we know about Mr. Jones. His past traumas, what led up to him coming here, and any conversation that the two of us had is all within this file, including word-for-word transcripts on unrecorded conversations. I do sincerely hope that this helps. If there's anything else I can do, please don't hesitate to call. Here's my card. It has all of my information on it. My hope is that we can bring him back here so we can help him and finish the work that we started while he was here.
Thank you for your cooperation. We'll be in touch.
Well, aren't you a sight for sore eyes? That's a good one. Peekaboo. Look what you did. You got eyeball juice all over both of my thumbs. Well, I mean, it could be worse. Could be you. Dead with no eyes. Jesus. Well, at least you can do something for me. I told you some good jokes, right? So I'm sure you wouldn't mind giving this note to my friend the detective. He should be here not too long from now. You see, I'm hoping that he and I can finally meet and have a conversation with one another. I mean, really spend some quality time together. After all, he has been after me for a little while. To that I say, detective, catch me if you can. Oh, and also to you, my sight-impaired friend. Have a good evening.
It's late. The streetlights are on as I'm driving home to continue my research. For some reason, I decided to go through town, and in doing so, by chance or possibly by design, I find another body. I only noticed him because it's unusual for there to be homeless people in this part of town. He was laying beside a dumpster, completely sprawled out, like he was placed there, in that particular position, for me to find. The victim is a man in his late 30s. He's lying on the ground with a piece of paper over his head. At first, I thought he was sleeping and attempted to wake him, but quickly realized he wasn't asleep. He was dead. I removed the paper from over his head and found both eyes had been gouged out. I looked at the piece of paper that was covering his face, and on it was written the word detective. I turned it over and read aloud. Detective, I know you've been looking for me for a while now. This one couldn't see a joke if it hit him in the face.
But I hope to see you soon. I hope you have a good evening, detective. Your friend, Punchline.
I take pictures of everything, call it in, and then head home to review everything I know so far. Upon arriving home, I go through all of my files and look into each victim. At this time, all but one have been identified, that being the one I discovered earlier today. I'm looking for connections, a way that I can link the victims together. At first, there was no clear link between the victims and Craig Jones. Then I thought to myself, the hospital. Could that be where the connection is? I then looked into the names and their possible relations to the Rivercrest Mental Health Facility. I found that over the past 3 years, all the victims, with the exception of the 16-year-old, had been employed by the hospital. Nurses, janitors, hospital pharmacy techs. Then I looked into Jones' file. As I went through each page, I found reports of instances with each of the victims and Jones. The first one I saw was a former patient and him having a disagreement. The name was redacted, but I know from reports it was Alan Shipley, the 16-year-old. Then report after report within the file I found lined up with each victim. Stacy Bray, Brock Gregory, Alex Williams. Then I look over the transcripts of conversations Jones had with Dr. Chappell. Over and over again, I found Jones became more and more hostile with the doctor. This concerns me. Apart from the doctor, there was only one other person who had direct contact with Jones. I had to let Chappell know that he may be in danger, so I picked up my phone and used the number on his card to give him a call. It rang and rang for what seemed like forever before going to voicemail. I hung up and then found the other person's address. He was a pharmacy tech that brought Jones's medications. His name was Jeremy Glynn. I'm heading to his house now. It's in the middle of the city. I get my gear on, my mask, detective SWAT team gear, my pistol, and trench coat. And I leave. As I drive, my mind races with thoughts of protecting the 2 people left that could possibly be in Punchline sights. As I arrive, I notice a light on the inside of the house, and the door was cracked. As I approach to enter, I notice something. Silence. It was deafening. I enter carefully, walking slowly through the house, and there, sitting in a recliner, with his head tilted backwards, was Jeremy Glynn. He was dead. He had foam coming from his mouth, and his eyes were bloodshot. Sprawled all over him were a multitude of different shapes, sizes, and colors of pills, and a note pinned to his shirt saying, "A pill a day keeps the bad thoughts away." My phone begins ringing. I pick it up and answer. Dr. Chappell, this is Detective.
Detective! It's so good to finally speak with you. I've been waiting for a while now, but I must say, I'm a little bit nervous.
What do you want with the doctor?
Oh, him? Well, I just wanted to talk to him. You see, I'm really overwhelmed with life right now, and I honestly could use some guidance from my doctor. But I'd love it if you could come here so we could have a face-to-face conversation. But I'm not going to make it too easy and tell you where we are. So come and find me, Detective. Catch me if you can.
Quickly, I ping Dr. Chappell's phone number to find his location, and I find that they're not far. They're at the doctor's home. So I race over there, and it's a race against time to save this man's life. He's being held captive by a former patient of his, a crazed individual who believes that life itself is a joke, and I am the only one who can stop him. I arrive and enter the house. When I do, I see a man with his face painted as a clown, with long black dreadlocks, wearing the same scrubs and doctor's coat he was the first time I saw him on the security video. He was holding the doctor captive by keeping him tied to a wooden chair. He was smiling at me, standing behind the doctor with a hand on his shoulder, and then he said,
Wow, Detective. That was fast. We're so glad you could make it to our little group therapy session so promptly. Really. So just have a seat and we can start. But first, just tell me what's going on inside that head of yours to make you so dark and scary. I'm here for you. Do you want to talk about it?
I've been waiting for this moment for 9 months. You took my entire world from me and made it into a joke. You made my whole world the punchline of your sick joke, and then you took it from me. Now, I'm going to make you pay for all the lies that you've taken with your own life.
Sounds like fun. Let's give it a whirl.
I lunge toward him, and as I do, he does the same. We meet in a flurry of punches. I land a couple of good shots. Staggering. He pulls a knife and says,
You know, people think I'm really not that smart. I have to say, I am pretty sharp. And you're gonna get the point.
He lunged at me with the knife. I knock his hand out of the way. And give him a straight right. As I do, he stabs me in the leg, putting me down to it. He then kicks me in the face, shattering the visor on my head. I fall to the ground. He jumps on top of me. Begins choking. Things start going black. And as I'm fading, I hear him say,
It's been fun playing this game with you, detective. And I'd love to keep playing. Like you're getting a little sleepy. And that's okay. Just breathe.
As he shifts his weight to I take my chance. I tuck my legs underneath his body, flip him off his body, and then jump on top of him, begin to punch him over. With each landed shot, his face begins to swell. All I see is red. All I see is her. Her cold, dead body. Her carved face bleeding. And our future that never was. I punch over and over until I hear a voice. The voice of Dr. Chapel.
Detective, stop. Stop, please, stop. You're going to kill him. Detective, please stop. This isn't right. This isn't justice. This is revenge. Stop, please.
I stop. But I don't take my eyes off Joe. And I think before responding. I have to end this. Something has to be done. Now. No more deaths. Not from a madman like this.
I agree something needs to be done, but not this. Let me take him to an isolated wing in the hospital, where he can be monitored, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Somewhere where he will never see the light of day again. Please let me help you.
I'm not a killer. I want justice, not revenge. You're right. I turn him over. I take the handcuffs off my belt and put them on Jones. Before untying Dr. Chapman and telling him to call the cops. I then leave. With a slightly uneasy feeling inside my chest still present. But having the confidence of knowing that I've helped this broken city that I call home. Present day. I know now that there are people like me. I haven't gone back to the police force. Instead, I decided to become someone who will help the people of Rivercrest on my own. A private detective assisting the public when the police failed. And now, I know I'm not the only one in this fight. In cities all around, I'm hearing more and more about people standing up for those who can't and doing what's right. And I intend to find them. In hopes we can all make a brighter future, a better tomorrow, for this world.
Shirley Boy Entertainment presents, in association with the Adam Talks podcast. This is a Heroverse production and an Adam Shirley audio drama based on original characters and created by Adam Shirley and Glenn Lewis. Detective, Case 1.
Well, Mr. Jones, I hope you have been enjoying your little vacation away from the hospital. But I will say, we're very happy to finally have you back here.
Well, I really didn't have much of a choice in the matter now, did I?
No, I guess you didn't. But now that you are here, we can continue the work that we started when you were here.
What work? All I remember. Testing your new pills on me. What did you call them? Synodine, sondamine,
Syndazine, or Sin, as it's called in the streets.
Right. Anyways, I remember that. Well, I remember. Why you let me out too? Let me out because that nurse saw too much. She saw you kill that little Tommy Gill. He wouldn't take the pills. She watched you take the life out of them. Personally, I thought it was great. Because that guy was super annoying. Super annoying. But you wanted me to kill her. That's why you let me out. That's why you let me out. Put a smile on her. Put a smile on her face, you said. Call me artsy. Call me artsy. I think I did a great job. And another thing, Doc. I may have killed, but not as many as they say. So I'm guessing you've been busy. Haven't you?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have, Mr. Jones. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. But so have you. But so have you. And without you taking care of that stupid Shirley McCarthy, I might not be here right now. And if I wasn't here, you would be dead at the hands of the detective. So as far as keeping busy, I'll just say this. Our work has only just begun.
Detective, Case 1, starring Adam Shirley Detective Case James 1, McCarthy, and starring Adam Shirley as Detective James McCarthy and Craig Jones, the Punchlines, as well as Joshua Sanders. Music by Adam Dr. Shirley, Chapel, using Music Maker JM. Music by Adam Shirley, sound effects using Music Maker JM. All sound effects credit goes to Pixabay.com by Adam Shirley. Written, edited, and directed by Adam Shirley.
Good evening, Diamond City, and welcome to the Channel 5. Good evening, Diamond City, and welcome to the Channel 5. In recent weeks, we have noticed an alarming amount of drug activities in Diamond City, and many other atrocities in Diamond City. Law enforcement. Many have begun to question the government, the law enforcement that stand for this town's well-being, and the officials that stand for this town's well-being. These problems. With many have asked what is being done about these problems, with no answers yet in clear sight.
Things are different now. Different than they were before. Home does not feel like home. Since I've returned from overseas, I've noticed Diamond City has changed, and not for the better. Well, I think this city could use more than what it's been getting. I think right now, they could use someone to fight for them. And I believe they need someone like me. A warrior.
And introducing Glenn Lewis as the Warrior. We really hope you have enjoyed this Heroverse audio drama. There is more to come, so keep an eye out on the Shirley Boy Entertainment and Heroverse pages for any and all updates on future projects.